lot of younger squads around the city. This is projected to be a game that could possibly get out of hand for Dunbar. Dunbar is very young. Coach Daniels is looking at a lot of freshmen, sophomores, and even a couple of 8th graders. So there's going to be a lot of experience gained through a season like this.
Now, what seniors do we have on both teams here?
For Paul Lawrence Dunbar, we've got Madison Jones, Tanaya Dunn, and Catherine Messerly as the 3 seniors on this team. And for Lafayette, we've got 2. We have Grayson Grants and Shemetria Marshall. Also one more, Olivia Plank.
Okay, we got action on the floor here. Lafayette started off with the tip at a shot attempt at 3 with a miss, and now Dunbar's back down the floor with their first 3-point attempt of the night, heading back down the floor with Lafayette Generals.
Daniels is running the floor, finds an open lady in the corner for a shot, and it is good. Getting the Generals on the board is Shemetria Marshall.
Let me get my girls' numbers here together. So that was Dunbar, and then this one here is Lafayette.
Quick turnover, and the Generals go back on the break. Slow it back down, get into their offense. Another open 3 is up, and no good this time. On the rebound was Margaret Hoover for the Bulldogs. Ball pushing down to the corner and slips out of bounds.
So big things for girls basketball. What I preach for a young age is passing and catching is essential. The thing that you just have to work on. You can't get anything done if you can't keep the ball inbounds or without turning it over. So really interested to see how they progress throughout the game.
And this is something here on Big Things we've talked about for the last few games that we've seen. There's been a lot of young teams, not a lot of seniors playing in a lot of these games, and some of these younger kids have trouble holding onto that ball. And it's an improvement that all coaches, I think, would like to see around the city. There's a lot of ball-dominant basketball that you see in media today. A lot of the, ISO players or maybe a shooter that'll, let the ball go from 30, 40 feet. How hard is it, do you think, as a coach, to try and instill these messages of fundamentals with some of these younger basketball players that see, the likes of the more talented basketball players out there?
I would say you just got to keep preaching the fundamentals, all the flashy stuff that you see in the NBA and WNBA. Those players have worked really hard throughout their careers to be able to do that. Right now, it's just doing the simple things. Those ball up and down, catch, pass, bounce pass, chest pass, all the simple stuff is what I would keep the focus on. And, until they've mastered those skills, I wouldn't really go on too much into anything too fancy.
And we have Dunbar getting a quick 3 up and off the glass and nearly in there. And we've got a fight for the ball. Jump ball is going to be called with the possession arrow for Dunbar. Some notable games from this Dunbar team. They do have 2 wins on the year. Both of those coming against Coach Daniels' former team, Woodford County, by total scores of 41-35 and 43-37. So you got a leg up on your old team, but it's still a younger team. You're going to take some of these losses and some of these lumps. How do you stay in this with a younger squad like this? What goes into keeping a core like this together to try and build kind of a team for your career?
Yeah, I would say keep the focus around the defense. There a lot of talking. We got to try to find out who the leader is going to be on this young squad. Somebody's going to kind of be the one to be vocal and kind of be the coach that's on the floor. Coach Daniels, as he works with this young team, he can only do so much. So the players really have to step up and find their way. But it's a growing process. If you're not winning, you have to keep a focus on being positive and just doing the little things right and celebrate the little victories. If somebody gets a box out, somebody has a good contest, give a teammate a pat on the back and let them know they did a good job to kind of keep the morale high.
This Lafayette experience is a slight mistake in their set there. Savannah Simpson was looking for An easy basket, ends up losing the ball. Anna Clay Denton works her way to the wing and get a shot off and is off the glass high and loose. Rebound by Dunbar. Ball being pushed up the floor by Justice Biggerstaff, who moves the ball. Down into the corner. Tip pass is caught, luckily in the corner.
Now, Ms. Chantelle, it's something we have been noticing since our time here at Big Things Kentucky covering the girls basketball. Why do you have any thoughts on why Lexington, the city itself, girls basketball seems to be down?
You know, I've asked this question a lot because in 2008, Dunbar's district was ranked in the nation for top female basketball in high school level. So to see the drop off, and I'm not going to say it's a drop off in talent, but a lot of girls I think are going into the volleyball route. So that's taking some of the talent that way. And you know, it's kind of a strange thing. I don't know if it's social media. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of some things that have changed since that time. And really all I can think from coaches is they're saying they're losing a lot of players to volleyball, and it's just kind of hard to keep the girls all together. But I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one. I'm kind of shocked just based on where we were to how we are now.
Okay. Now, one of the things I was wondering, like, did they have girls' leagues when you were coming up and playing? Did you play in a girls' league, or did you play in just the regular park and rec leagues?
When I was growing up, I
Or
started.
AAU, I'm sorry.
Yeah, AAU was the thing. I played with the Central Kentucky Angels starting from the 7th grade on up, and then I played with the Louisville Legends my junior and senior year. And we were busy full time. Like as soon as AAU was started, high school was done. We got going in the summer, and then we finished AAU and started doing conditioning for high school basketball. So. We got a lot of rec time, and I used to play at the blue courts with the guys when I was in high school, and I just try to play outside or anywhere I could.
Okay.
And as a UK student myself, those blue courts games are intense. There's some kids out there that are really, really good and they're probably never going to touch the floor again. And it is amazing.
Yeah, the blue courts, we had some battles out there. It was always good I think, for young girls to play against guys because a lot of times you get the physicality that, you can play in a high school girls game if you're playing against some college-age guys. You're going to be all right. You're going to have a little bit of toughness as we see them battling it out here on the floor for a loose ball. I love to see that players getting on the floor for loose balls. And the score is 0-7 now, so Coach E's making some subs into the game, so hopefully they can get something going here.
With 3:07 left in the first quarter. Now tell us about your playing days here at Dunbar. How was that?
Well, my first year, I started playing for Dunbar when I was in the 8th grade, played JV, and we had some really good seniors on the team, and also I don't know if you all know Brianna Green. She was also playing at Dunbar at the time as a 7th grader. I think she was starting varsity. So I don't know. I love playing basketball here. I have friends that I've kept up with, and we stay in contact, and we're still close friends to this day. So the relationships that we built, and so many good players. A lot of players played D1, played at JUCOs, and it was a really competitive environment. So it was a good time.
Now, I remember you said something about a record that Dunbar had your senior year that sounded really good. Now, how exactly did you guys not come out with a state championship? How did that break down?
Yes, so my senior year, we were 30-3. And
30-3?
30-3.
Who did y'all lose to?
That year, we lost to Iroquois in a Christmas tournament. I will say I did not play the first quarter of that game. I got in a little bit of trouble, and I was not allowed to play.
A little bit of trouble.
I know.
We're going to leave that one alone.
At the Christmas tournament, though, that's always where somebody gets caught. You know what I'm saying? It's those tournaments over the weekend.
We're going to let that one go, Rashad. We're going to let that one go. So they lost to Iroquois. Who else did y'all lose to?
We lost to Lexington Catholic in the district championship game. So at that point, we had only lost one game, and then we lost that game. I think we lost by 1 point. And
So y'all went into the Sweet 16 with 2 losses.
well, we went into the regional tournament. We won against Franklin County, and then we went down to EKU for the semifinal game, and we lost to Henry Clay, who then went on to win the regionals. And we had beat them 3 times before we lost the one. So we beat them in the summer in the state AAU basketball tournament. We beat them at home. We beat them away in overtime and double overtime. And then the 4th time we played them.
So y'all lost in regions.
We lost in region by 7 to a team we had beat 3 times before. So it was just like, it's hard to beat a team 3 times, but it's hard to beat them 4 times.
Crushing, I bet.
Yeah, everybody knew it was our year. It just didn't happen for us.
That was kind of depressing, Coach. I don't know how I feel about that.
We made it out okay. It's still an incredible run. Okay, fast break still.
Oh, she's out of bounds.
Savannah Simpson attempting to save there. I was going to give a shout out to Anna Clay Denton for her defense on that last possession. She was able to tip out that inbound and try and get that save, but she ended up out of bounds. And Lafayette playing some swarming defense here, looking to get that ball out of their hands and get back on that break and get comfortable in this game as they hold an 11-0 lead with 1:30 to go in the first quarter. Side out for Dunbar.
11-0. Now, Chantelle, as a coach, what do you tell your young squad as you start the game down 11-0?
I'm going to say get the ball inside every time. We need to attack the rim, be aggressive, and try to get some post touches. It doesn't seem like I've seen too many attempts on the inside, but yeah, just be aggressive. Try to draw some fouls, get to the free throw line, get some easy baskets. That would be my main thing. Just try to get to the rim, try to get something going. And, a lot of stuff starts with your defense. If you get a couple easy steals and get some transition baskets, that makes the game a lot easier.
I agree with you. Earlier, pregame, I actually saw Ava Rankin for Paul Lawrence Dunbar trying to hype her team up on the sideline, looking to bring some energy into the game and some physicality down low. I would definitely love for her to see the ball as they put her in the blender there down low to get an easy basket to extend the lead to 13-0.
So Dunbar look like they're playing a 1-3-1 zone there, and sometimes it can be really hard as a high school team to play against those zones. Oh, I thought they were going to call it over and back there.
I thought that would have been a call too, but I think her letting go of the ball, let them keep possession, is Dunbar pushing down to the post, and we're going to go to the free throw line with Ms. Daniels.
Yeah, Ms. Daniels is the point guard, 8th grader for Dunbar, and she did exactly what I just spoke about, getting to the rim, trying to draw some easy fouls. They got to keep that strategy up if they want to get some points on the board here.
Great defense on the inbound play by Lafayette, and the ball's going to go out of bounds. And to Lafayette, that looked like it had actually gone off the hands of Jackie Tishabaki, but possession is given to Lafayette as Savannah Simpson looks to lead this offense on another attack. Ball goes into the corner, open shot, just off the rim and back.
That's old school play right there.
Yeah.
Another quick basket goes up, and we're going to end the first quarter here on this Big Things Kentucky podcast with Lafayette's Lady Generals up holding a 15-point lead at the end of the first. Dunbar scoreless.
And we're going to step away for just a second. We are back as we start the second quarter. Lafayette leads Dunbar 15-0. Coach, we gonna put the coaching hat on you, Coach Pressley. Coach, what do you do?
Well, there is no shot clock. So one thing I'm going to say is we need to work the ball around. But like I said, that passion and catching, very nice.
Savannah Simpson with a quick layup in the paint.
Now, if you're on the winning side of this, if you're Lafayette's coach, what are you telling your girls now?
Oh
my goodness.
They're doing exactly what I would tell them to do. With a young team, they don't like the pressure, so keep the pressure up on them. And I would say try to get as many defensive tips and deflections and steals and get easy baskets.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just saw Savannah Simpson put up 2 steals and 4 points in about 10 seconds there.
So it looks like Lafayette is doing a double team at the top whenever the ball goes to the wing. So Dunbar's going to have to figure out a way to keep that ball out of that corner up there at the top. Cut to the middle of the basket, try to get it inside.
Shout out to the Dunbar cheerleaders. Always doing big things. Championship squad there. They always seem to be doing something in the championships with cheerleading.
Absolutely. I think the cheerleading squad was on True Life Cheerleader. They had their own TV show back when I was in high school, so they've been really good for a long time.
Now, did you have any aspirations of being a cheerleader, or you was just strictly like, I'm balling?
Yeah, I don't think there's any 6-foot cheerleaders. I think there's a height minimum or something. I don't know, but I never thought about being a cheerleader.
Never, ever. Like, even as a little youngin', was you like, hey, girl, started out as a cheerleader? No?
No, I played soccer when I was little.
Okay.
And, yeah, I think I wanted at one point to be a ballerina, and I think somebody told me I was too tall because I've been tall my whole life.
Tisha Baki's corner 3 is no good. Hits that short corner between the rim and backboard, and the ball goes back down low. Savannah Simpson grabs her own rebound. Another second chance. Third and a fourth.
Now, was there any other sports you were good at?
Yes, so right here in the hallway of the Paul Lawrence Dunbar hallways, I am up there for track and field for state. So we won a state track and field championship in 2006. And that was in the 4x1 relay, 4x2 relay, and I also got 4th in state in shot put, believe it or not.
What? So you had wheels then, huh? Just a little bit?
A little bit. I did a little bit. I would probably say I was the 4th slowest person on the relay. So we had some fast people.
You was just like, don't drop the baton. Don't drop the baton.
Just keep it rolling. Okay.
Now, one thing I am seeing from this Dunbar squad is that they're struggling to find a way to get that ball into the post, and they're seeming to kind of walk themselves into that trap on the wing. They'll try and squeeze that ball into the corner, or if not, they'll just leave it on the wing and kind of let that double team come. And they're not necessarily getting the ball out away from it and moving these defenders around as they get a good look from the corner that time, but the shot is no good. Tisha Baki tries to reset the offense, and the ball is loose. Simpson comes down with it and looks to set up the offense.
Now, even with the air ball shot in the corner, those are still shots that I want to see because those are the open shots, and it's better to take the wide open shot and miss it than to force it inside or do something where you're not getting a good look. So those shots will start to drop as they progress and work on their jump shooting.
Jump ball. Miami King for Dunbar putting up a fight there. Not necessarily the tallest on the court, and was able to put up a good fight for their rebound and gain possession for our team here. There is 6 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Lafayette holding a 20-0 lead. Yeah. Correction on that possession. The jump ball goes to Lafayette. The possession arrow does switch for Dunbar. Ball goes back down low, and shot goes up and is no good. They are going to send Isabel Combs to the free throw line.
Now, I do want to give some praise to Isabel Combs on that post-up. She got in position and really backed her defender right up under the goal. So that's the best position, and she did draw the foul, so that is great. knocks down the first free throw. And checking in for Dunbar is number 22, Ava Rankin. Second free throw, no good. Yeah, Dunbar gets the ball down the court and then a quick turnover, lost the handle. So a lot of these things looks like skill issues. So these things can be worked on. So I would say after when a team is not good and it's a skill thing, these are things that can be worked on. It's not like a chemistry issue. It's not an attitude or effort issue. It's just being young and
You say it's just
develop.
immaturity, you think?
I think so.
Okay.
Now, the players have to take it upon themselves to put that work in because you can't get it all in practice. Some of these things have to be really tackled outside of the school practice time.
There's a lot of youth in this roster. There's, between the two of these, we have 7 juniors and 8 sophomores. I think we've got about 4 8th graders. There's a lot of youth spread around this team. There's a lot of these girls you're going to see for at least 2 to 3 more years, and some of these skills they're going to acquire over time.
And Tess Nelson, number 12 for Lafayette, I can see she's got the energy and the active hands on defense. So it looks like she's almost got another steal here. And jump ball possession goes to Dunbar.
Side out for the Bulldogs. Joliet Alexander losing the ball and a quick layup for Lafayette. Grayson Grant, the senior, who's played in 9 games this year for Lafayette, gets the easy basket. Losing her dribble is Miami King. Tries to get rid of the ball. Savannah Simpson playing some.
Yeah, there we go, Dunbar.
Back on the board. Miss Ava Rankin. Simpson with the eyes finds the open teammate for an easy mid-range.
How to get back on defense.
Just want to give a quick shout out to our cameraman Marshawn. He's having a great performance out here tonight. This might be his best performance of the year.
Hey, he had a few moments where he kind of blanked out, but I've been standing right behind him. I'm keeping him on track.
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
I tell you, man, I'm developing Marshawn. He's gonna be all right with us. Ooh.
We had a collision on the rebound. We got 2 players down, one from Lafayette and one from Dunbar.
Simpson and Miami getting their arms tied up there fighting for the rebound.
Yeah, those are always scary when you see players go down. They seem like they've gotten back up. You just want to make sure, they don't hit their head or have any kind of concussions going on.
27-2. Coach Denton looks very comfortable right now.
Coach Denton never really looks that comfortable to me.
That's what I'm saying.
She's very intense.
Coach Daniels, we got a shot at Coach Daniels. Coach Daniels I talked to him earlier before the game, and he talked about, his youth and inexperience that he has on his team. But he really likes the way his girls play and hustle. He's just like, it's just growing pains right now. Shout out to Coach Runyon. He had a great program here at Dunbar the last few years. Those girls really played and hustled and scrapped. But he moved on, and those girls left, and I guess it was kind of a good time for turnover if that's what you thinking about. Were you familiar with did you keep track of the Dunbar, the Bulldogs, Lady Bulldogs the last few years?
I did not. This is my first time. I'm not going to say it's my first time back. I did come here for a career fair last year, but this is my first time being back for a sporting event in over 10 years.
That's good. Big Things Kentucky got Miss Pressley back in the halls of Dunbar. Welcome home.
Thank you. It's good to be back. I really do love this school. It did a lot for me in my 4 years while I was here, helping me get to where I'm at today. So big shout out to the Bulldogs.
And if we take a look at a lot of the other schools in the city, it started off with Bryan Station, I want to say, getting their first renovation. And then Tate's Creek has a new school now, and Frederick Douglass has been built, and Henry Clay's received some renovations. I think it's about time we see something else come up for Dunbar now, right?
Well, I don't know what's been going on at Lafayette, because I know that.
Yeah, I think Lafayette's got to be on deck for next. If anybody needs a renovation, it's Lafayette.
Yeah, because Dunbar was built in 1990. So I'm not sure. I know Lafayette's a lot older, but I don't know what they've done renovation-wise to that gym or to that building.
Okay, we got a whole new lineup, don't we, Rashad? Are these new players in the game, or am I just
a lot of younger players
not paying
subbing
attention?
back into the game now? Gonna highlight for Lafayette number 10, Layla Flynn, is an 8th grader subbing into this big varsity game with a big lead.
She's got some height on her?
She does. She's playing with a lot
Oh,
of
you said for Lafayette or for Dunbar?
Lafayette.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at 10 for Dunbar.
And even with a new lineup, the defensive intensity doesn't change. As Dunbar struggling to get back on defense after losing that ball, and Jackie Tishabaki is going to go back to the free throw line. One thing I noticed earlier in the game, she did have a wrap on that that left hand, I'm sorry, and it has now been removed, and she's back at the free throw line. Miami King subbing back into the game for Dunbar after that big collision with Savannah Simpson. She has not returned yet, but she is next to coach.
And that first free throw was no good. Let's see how she bounces back. She makes the second.
2:42 to go in the second.
Lafayette leads 28-2. 28-2.
Quick shot goes up and no good by Joliet Alexander.
I want to thank y'all for joining Big Things Kentucky Live as we hit our ladies' night game this evening.
Now this is a really good experience if you're Layla Flynn. You're a freshman point guard. You've probably come off the bench a lot this year, and you've got a big lead, and coach is letting you come out here and run the floor and run the offense, and she gets an open three up, and it's good.
Okay.
And that second chance rebound was from Jackie Tishabashi. So those second chance opportunities are huge.
Loose ball recovered by Alexander. She pushes the ball to the left. That trap not as consistent with the second lineup. Ball goes back to the opposite corner. Dunbar doing a great job of moving the ball around, not getting necessarily hung up. Alexander did have her dribbles there, didn't use them. The ball is turned over and back into the hands of Flynn, running this Lady General offense.
So one thing that I see of Lafayette's defense that's making it really tough for Dunbar as they're in that zone is usually young players. Oh, big! Is that a 2 or a 3?
That was a 2 from Tess Nelson.
Tess Nelson hits a big 2. What Lafayette is doing is leaving the player that is furthest away open, and at this point, a lot of young players don't have the arm strength to make that skip pass across the court. So you see, as the open players open in the corner, to make that skip pass would be really difficult. So they are putting the pressure on the short passes, and that's where they're getting a lot of steals.
And Coach Truck, we saw the same defensive set on Saturday from Louisville Central against Dunbar,
Yes,
the men's
did.
team, and their senior point guard was able to get that skip pass all the way across the court for a lot of those possessions to get that open 3 up.
Yeah, it makes a big difference to be able to make a good skip pass.
Lafayette moving the ball a lot here, finding as many looks as they can. Nelson fakes, back out to Flynn at the top of the key. Back into the corner. 20 seconds to go on the clock. Lafayette leading 34-2. 15 and ticking. I think we're just killing clock here. Nelson moves left, drops the ball inside. Shot is up, no good. She gets her own board. And
3.8 seconds.
with 3 seconds to go.
Possession arrow points to Lafayette Generals.
Again, freshman forward Ava Rankin, she's bringing some kind of hustle and energy for Dunbar here. She fought for that loose ball. Miscommunication on the pass, looking for Nelson, and it goes over her head. And that is going to end our first half. The Lafayette Lady Generals lead 34-2 on this Big Things Kentucky showing. We'll be right back.
All right, we are back as halftime getting ready to end. That halftime was quick. Have you had a chance to look at the stats yet? Anything, I mean, really is 2 points for Dunbar, so I guess there ain't really much to look at the stats. Do we have a leading scorer?
Yes, we do. Savannah Simpson for Lafayette, number 12, is having an amazing game right now. She has 5 steals, 4 assists, 7 total points, and yeah, she's pretty much doing everything for them right now.
Wow. Shout out to Savannah. And if you get a chance, check out her Twitter. She got a cold Twitter page, man. She been working out in the off season and everything. Had herself working out on the ropes. So we give a shout out to Miss Savannah on her Twitter page.
And Bella Combs has 8 points, and she has 5 rebounds. And let's see what else we have here. Olivia Plank has 5 points. Grayson Grants has 5 points. And who is our leading rebounder right now?
Gotta check the rebound.
Bella Combs is the leading rebounder for Lafayette, and Justice Biggerstaff has 5 rebounds for Dunbar.
Shout out to Justice. Dunbar came out firing and hit a 3. It's now 33-5 with 7 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, I want to just see Dunbar continue to attack and just try to get some more points on the board. And Lafayette scores again, number 30 for Lafayette, Miss Tess Nelson.
Now, one thing like I did notice, like you said, is Dunbar, you definitely see they are fighting. You know, they have not quit playing. It's just like you said, I think you see immaturity, a lot of, you know, young mistakes that have been made as far as on defense. Like you said, not reading their defense and making the skip passes and that type of thing. I think that just comes with maturity and strength. But they're definitely still fighting. You know, it's just like most of the shots are contested, I would say.
And Tess Nelson hits a 3 up top. So that's 2 back-to-back scores for Tess Nelson. Now, this is the 3rd three-point attempt that I have seen for Dunbar, and that's 2 air ball shots. Sometimes it's good to just work the ball around. You know, sometimes they say
I was going to say, did you feel like that was a good shot? I know you say sometimes if it's an open shot, then you don't mind.
Yeah, right now, I think since it's early in the second half, I would say work the ball around a little bit more, work the offense.
Mm-hmm.
But I would rather see shots than turnovers, but I'm still looking to get more layups. So those open three-point looks are great, but let's try to work the ball in and get it inside.
Nice inside play.
Savannah Simpson has a layup on the inside.
Now, are you an avid sports fan? Do you like watch the NBA as well?
So when I have time to watch TV, which is not that often right now, I'm opening a women's sober living home. I'm a realtor. I'm
What?
Ms Kentuckt.
Women's what? What'd you say?
Women's sober living home.
Oh, okay.
So that's Winter Garden Sober Living. It's going to house 16 women who are in long-term recovery of substance use disorders, so any kind of drugs and alcohol, and it's going to be helping them get their lives back on track. And you know, I'm really excited about that. I know it's something that's needed here in Kentucky. I think we're like number 2 in the country with the opioid crisis. So something I'm really passionate about, and I'm excited to get those doors open here in the next month or so.
Now that is I don't want to say where you.
Well, it's going to be located on Winter Garden, so that's the name came from the street it's on. So just keep it real simple, but it actually worked. I like the idea of a Winter Garden. You know, growing through the cold and the storm.
Okay. Now, just if anybody's listening or watching and may be interested in maybe contacting you or helping you, or is there any way they can get in touch with you as far as the Winter Garden program?
Yes, so my email for the nonprofit is just all the way spelled out, wintergardensoberliving@gmail.com. So if you have any skills as far as wanting to volunteer, work with the program, help the ladies out, if you have anything you want to donate that would help house women, I would definitely love to hear from you and, see how we can work together to make our community great.
Now, I'm going off on a tangent. This Coach Truck, I got ADD sometimes. Is athletics is that something that you can build into that? Would that be something that could maybe help? Like when sobriety, I know they say, being active and that type of thing kind of helps.
Yeah, so we really are going to be taking a holistic approach to recovery, and we will have a fitness class. And one thing that we've been working to get off the ground is walking basketball. And walking basketball is pretty much the game of basketball, but you have to have 2 feet or at least 1 foot on the ground at all times, so there's no running. So you do the game, and you have to stay at least 1 arm's length away from someone. And it just keeps people active so they can play the game, and that's something that I love. And, it doesn't matter what age, what gender, who you are, everybody can compete because it's a non-contact sport.
Okay. Lafayette makes the free throw.
You did say that you all would accept donations. Is there anything specific that you all may be looking for as far as donations go for your sober living program?
So right now, the big ticket items that we are looking for are a washer and dryer and 1 range. It's a 4-plex, so that one of the units needs a stove, and we're going to have 1 washer and dryer for the women to use. So they'll just split that up over their time during the week to do their 2 loads of laundry. So if anybody is looking to get rid of a washer and dryer that still works, we would happily take it. We are a 501(c), so tax season's coming up, and that is definitely a tax write-off on those donations.
Okay. What's going on in this game? It's 42-5. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter. We are joined by Rashad Bird and Ms. Chantelle Pressley. Am I pronouncing that right, Chantelle Pressley?
That is correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Coach Truck is horrible with names. Look, Marshawn went to sleep on me for just a second there. See, Marshawn, come on, man. You was doing so good the first half.
Now, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, I've told you this every
Hey,
broadcast.
man. Hey. Marshawn is doing the best he can.
But Marshawn is an alias for Coach Truck.
Marshawn is not. Marshawn is our intern, and he's doing the best he can. Oh, just missed the rebound. See, they steadily fighting underneath, though. I got to give him credit for that, man, Coach. And you can see Coach is kind of fired up. He likes that, just seeing his girls fight.
That
and
was
I
Ava
give him
Rankin
that.
that was down there fighting for that rebound for Dunbar.
Now, I guess the next thing we got to get into, you are Miss Kentucky. Is it Miss Kentucky for America Strong? Is that correct? The whole title?
That is the whole title.
Okay. So we just want to know, you didn't do the girl, you didn't do the cheerleading, none of that kind of stuff. How you end up in a beauty pageant? I mean, I'm not saying, okay, that came out just wrong. Coach Truck messing up again.
No,
But I'm just saying, beauty pageant, Miss Kentucky. How that come about?
So working with my father has a sober living home here in Lexington that's been operating since 2018. Shout out to Eastern Avenue Sober Living.
Okay.
And I am the community outreach director for them.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I wanted us to do was just bring more awareness to our cause and also raise some donations for Eastern Avenue. And when I was driving home, I know this might sound weird for anybody, but if you're a believer, sometimes you just know that God will just put a message on your heart at any time. And I was driving home, and the word pageant just kept coming to me. I'm like, God, why you keep saying pageant? I've never done a pageant. I don't know anything about it. So
this was your first pageant you had ever been in?
Yes, so I competed in the pageant in 2021, and I did not win. And then I competed the second time in 2022, and I won. So that was actually my second time trying, and I won.
Okay.
And then, went on to compete at Miss For America and got first runner-up. So that was a blessing. It was third pageant ever to compete at that level and have such an honor was incredible.
Now, after, you went to the first one, where did you place the first time you were in? Did you place? Or?
I got second runner-up.
Okay, so you got second runner-up. Then did that competitiveness hit you the second time where you was kind of like, I'm going, you watched film, you know what I'm saying? did the athlete in you kind of come out and you was like, I'm gonna get this?
You know what? At first, I was like, I am never doing this again. I was really disappointed I didn't win. And I just was like, it's a lot. You have to put in time and effort, and you have to practice kind of like you do with sports. You have to work on your walk. You have to work on, all kinds of things like interview questions. And I was like, I'm not doing this. And then my dad said, we did so well with the fundraising last year when you did it. I want you to do it again. And I was like, man, I had already made my mind up that I was not doing it again, and I'm glad I did, because then I wound up winning.
Okay.
Well, the score is 5-42 in favor of Lafayette Generals heading into the fourth quarter. What are you all expecting to see in this last quarter of play? Pretty much the same as what we've been seeing, or do you think to see a little something extra from the coaches, maybe putting some different players in, or?
I think Coach Denton should go on and empty her bench. And as far as Coach Daniels, I know he said a lot of his girls were playing in the JV game that were playing in varsity. That's how young he is. So I think this with him is just game experience. I think you just got to let him keep playing. And the only way to learn is through that experience. Personally, as a coach myself, that's how I feel about it, developing my kids.
I think we have seen the last of some of the bigger stars here for Lafayette.
Yes.
I don't think we expect to see Savannah Simpson back out here after the performance she's had this game. She's had a tenacious effort on offense and defense alongside Isabel Combs and Tess Nelson, just absolutely bearing down on the Bulldogs as we start to see some more platoon swaps from both teams.
Is that Coach Lawson? Coach Lawson in the house. I'm about to get Coach Lawson up here.
Now, Coach Truck, I didn't mention that to you, but at halftime I did happen to run into Coach Darrell Watkins for Bourbon County. And he said he'd like to see you this year.
Who?
Coach Darrell Watkins out at Bourbon County.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, I ran into him just a moment ago, and he said he'd like to see you. Marshawn is out here.
Marshawn was trying to. I had him trying to get my man. I had him doing something, so that wasn't on Marshawn.
That's all right.
That was on Coach Truck. I had told Marshawn to go holler at my dude down there, so he left. So I'm on the camera now, right now. Tell Marshawn, okay, he's back now. Marshawn, man.
When we first started, I was wondering who Marshawn was. I was looking around.
You was looking at him like, who is this dude? He kind of strange looking, ain't he? But he's all right, though. He's all right. We're going to be joined here in a minute by Lafayette football head coach, Coach Lawson. Just talk to him for a little bit. Coach Lawson, man, you want to join us for a little bit? Just kind of talk about the season and what's going on in Lafayette?
Love to hear a little bit about Lafayette. Check in with my buddy, Mr. Cole Colony, the great.
What you got going on here?
Nothing. We just calling the game. It's kind of got out of hand.
Is this the actual score?
Yes.
Yes, the score is currently 42-5 in favor of Lafayette with 6 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the game.
I just assumed that one of the lights were out on the home side.
Yeah.
No, that is not the case, Coach. Now, Coach, man, you got through with the interim head coach thing. Is any update on that? You got any update on that for us as far as what they're going to do? They're going to give you the permanent title. First of all, Coach, do you want the title? I guess would be the next question. It was kind of rough.
The answer to that is absolutely, sir. So I think for me, I didn't really get a full season in last year because I started so late because of all what happened at the beginning. And so I think 2 weeks before the Christmas break, they actually made it official. So we sent it out on Twitter just a little bit saying that I'm officially the head coach now. So, yeah, I've already got things rocking and rolling for the off-season program, and kids are showing up, and we're getting better.
All right. Now, have you been able to tweak your staff? Is that something you were going to do? Or,
Yes.
I know coming in late in the season, you were kind of hamstrung by that, was my understanding a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, I was still trying to hire guys the first week of August. You know what I'm saying? It was tough coming in that late trying to get everything put together. Currently, I am looking for a couple new positions at this point. I don't want to disclose them right now over the mic right now, but I am going to put out on listserv here real soon. But I do have 4 positions that I'm needing to fill going into next year. basically the defensive side of the ball is what I'm looking for at this time. But yes, I'm looking forward to that next step with the next group and the next phase of what we're going to do, because it's going to be great.
All right, Coach. Now, I see you at the girls' basketball game. One thing I can say about Coach Lawson, man, you bleed this red and blue, Coach. You off campus and you at the game. Coach just stroll in like, hey, let's support my team, man.
Yes,
you be at everything, man. They love you over there, Coach.
Yeah, true that. Now, I do wear many caps, though, so just so you know, I'm also the winter AD at Lafayette, which means I handle all the basketball games, wrestling, things like that. So, yeah, this time of season, even though I'm doing football stuff, I'm also the assistant AD, so I have to come in and make sure everything is going right and facilitate things at home, and then when we're away to make sure the crowd's under control and we're not doing anything silly. But, yeah, I just wear a couple of hats inside that building, sir.
Coach, you are the man of many hats, Coach. Now, one more thing before I get you out of here. You know, we just want to catch up with you. This realignment, Coach, I mean, it ain't really affecting, us as far as that. Well, I mean, everybody seems to agree Douglas is coming down. What we going to do about Douglas, first of all, Coach, man? I mean, I'm just saying,
The city's got to do something about him.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I preach all the time to my team. Like, we have no control over certain things and certain aspects of the game, whether it's the referee or the other teams and what's going on in their program. What we do is we really work on what we need to do and how we're going to get better, and we're just going to keep doing what we need to do to improve and compete so we can be a better football team.
That's the answer I'm looking for, Coach. We winning, we riding. Well, Coach, man, as you get ready for spring, I know you got your weightlifting and everything going on. What's your, goals as far as coming out of this winter workout as you get ready for spring?
Well, as the guys learned today, Coach Lawson's workouts are not easy. We just spent 2 hours in the weight room, not only physically getting better, but mentally getting better. So, it's all about building that endurance and strength right now and power. And as we do that, we push through it mentally while we're challenging each other, holding each other accountable. And it's just going to make us a stronger football team. And we're just going to take those steps and go in stride, and we're going to be great. We're going to get better.
All right, Coach. Thanks for joining us and giving us a little shout-out on
Absolutely.
the Lafayette Generals football team.
Yes, sir.
We're looking forward for big things out of the Generals, Coach. I got a shirt, man. I got to rep my shirt, Coach. You got to help me out now.
What size you in, bro? What size?
I got one.
Oh, you got one. Okay.
Coach Hughes like, man, where you get that from? Don't worry about that. I got the plug, Coach. They don't understand.
That's right. You pulled it out.
I just got to bring it out.
Yes, sir.
Introduction interview. But
Yes,
we got to win some games, though, Coach.
Absolutely. We working
my
that way.
motto, we win and we ride, Coach. I got your back, though, Coach. I got your back.
I appreciate you, sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, Coach, man.
All
and
right.
good luck.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
I just had to give Coach Lawson my business card. I'm like, he doing big things over there. He's well connected. I'm like, yeah, let's keep
There go
it going.
Marshawn. See, he's starstruck. Got to get him back together.
Marshawn's got to keep his eyes on the prize.
He's all right. He got it.
I don't think anybody
You
has
know,
their
man.
eyes on the prize. Like the Lafayette Lady Generals right now, as another basket goes down for Isabel Cone.
It's 47-5, y'all.
3 minutes, 8 seconds to go, and a timeout has been called. After, I think this is now the third platoon swap for Coach Daniels. We're winding down here to the final moments, and I think, honestly, we can go ahead and start discussing player of the game, can we not?
Yeah, we have to get the stats from HL Stats at the end of this. But I'm pretty sure, who was it? Savannah is probably player of the game, even though she didn't play the fourth quarter for real.
She has been back in. For the
she's been in a little bit?
The last about 4 or 5 possessions, she has been on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, she just took a three that was missed, and then the offensive rebound putback was put in.
Coach Denton keeping her foot on the gas, ain't she?
She is now at the end of the bench dancing to Pretty Boy Swag.
Now, one thing I do want to give a shout out to Coach Lawson. Like I said, he's always at all the events. He really supports his Lafayette Generals. I mean, home games. I was shocked to see him walking in at a away game, girls basketball game on a Tuesday night. And he's here doing his thing. So, man, I think Lafayette can't do any
three-pointer
better.
is good
There
for
we go.
Dunbar by Madison Jones.
Lafayette's got to hold on now, baby.
Got to keep you on your toes. The long three is no good.
Now, as we sought out these last 2 minutes and 39 seconds, I want to put our focus back on our Ms Kentuckt candidate, Ms Chantelle Pressley. Now, after you won the pageant, Just kind of tell us. I know I've seen, some of your stuff on live and, Twitter and everything. You've been in concerts. You've been meeting like all these popular people and everything. You are a star, superstar. Now, tell us about your time as Miss Kentucky for America Strong.
It's been great. Any opportunity I get, great 3-point basket made by number 34, Maitland Compton for Lafayette. But Miss Kentucky has really changed my life. I feel like it's given me an opportunity to really serve the community. I get to go and speak at high schools, and I go to career fairs, and I, like you said, I was able to go to a concert at Rupp Arena and speak to the people in the arena, which was incredible. We have some events coming up for Derby, and really just using it to get out and do as much good and serve the community as much as I can.
That's good stuff. Like I said, if anybody's looking for contact you or anything like that, how can they find you or reach you?
My social media is Telley, Telley, Sells Real Estate. That's on Instagram. And then just Chantelle Pressley with a C and 2 S's in Pressley on Facebook. And I'm on everything, LinkedIn, Snapchat. What else we got out there? Twitter. So YouTube, all of the above. So, my day job is a realtor and nonprofit.
Now, how's this real estate market going? I know they say, we with inflation and everything, I know prices are going up.
So right now, I say people are kind of like with the buyers, they don't want to have the high interest rates which are going on. But the good thing is that because the market is slow, you can negotiate the price down. When you got the right realtor, they're going to go in and say, hey, this house has been sitting on the market. Let's put in an offer that's a little lower than maybe list price, so we can get us a deal so that matches up with the high interest rates. So, it's always the time to buy and sell. And investors, rent is really high right now. So if you have some money to get an investment property, and it's going to rent out easily. So it's a good time to buy for investment properties. And, I always say you can find a deal. You just got to have the right person working for you.
Yes, ma'am. Now, I guess one other thing we need to kind of brush on. You play basketball overseas. Just kind of tell us, how did that come about?
Well, I was a grad assistant in the university that I played at, Eastern Illinois. And right after that, while I was training, while I was still coaching, I knew I wanted to go overseas. And my coach gave me their agent's information and wound up getting a deal signed to go play in France my first year, which was incredible, and it just kept me going. I played 7 seasons overseas.
I'm sorry. And we got a final. Lafayette 53, Dunbar 12. Wraps that game up. Coach Daniels and Coach Denton doing big things. Coach Rashad, man, just kind of catch up with Miss Pressley here. Let her finish her story. Tell us about your foreign play.
Yep. So just going to France playing. I got to play in Spain, Germany, Italy. And the best thing that ever happened overseas was going to the Commonwealth Games in 2018. I played with Team England, and we won a silver medal. So that was the pinnacle of my basketball career.
Now, playing overseas is definitely something that a lot of people don't necessarily get to see a lot of. Can you kind of like introduce us into what that's like? How much time really goes into trying to, keep yourself going from back and forth overseas? What goes into, like, what's your schedule look like?
So most seasons kind of start like college seasons. We kind of go over there in August or early September and start the conditioning part of
Rashad, can you hear me?
playing.
Yes, sir.
And then we stay over there until playoffs. Usually that
Hold your hand up if you can hear me.
April. And the schedule,
Can you hear me?
You
Okay.
really work.
Oh, hold on. Coach Denton, real quick. We got Coach Denton.
All
Is she
right,
leaving the coach?
Ladies and
Coach,
gentlemen,
man,
you got
dominating performance by your team. Just kind of tell us about how things have been going this season.
Well, we've been kind of up and down. We've, obviously graduated 4 seniors and had to adjust to losing 4 girls that went on to play ball. So it's been quite an adjustment. We've had 6 girls that have been hurt off and on. They're slowly coming back. So we've not had much flow. Last game that we played started to look like we were starting to come together. Today we did some things that were better. So thank goodness we have till February.
Okay, Coach Savannah dominated this game. Just kind of tell us what she means to your team.
Way Savannah is the way we go. It reminds me a lot of Anaya Brown that we had last year. Savannah can free, she can pull up and shoot, she can rebound, defend. Kid that can do all those things. She's going to draw a lot of attention to her. Well, as her teammate when she gets a lot of attention, and that makes.
Coach, thank you and wish you best of luck as you continue your season. Keep winning, Coach. We win and we ride. Y'all go ahead. Interrupted y'all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back to what that schedule looks like in that overseas play.
Yeah, so most times we only play once a week, which is a little bit different from college. And
that's a lot different. It's usually about 2 or 3 times a week over here.
Yeah, so that one game, you really have to find your love for practicing, because there's a lot of practice that happens with only one game a week. We do individuals twice a week, weights 3 times a week, and, usually about 3 team practices. And just depending, you have a day off each week, and your game day schedule. So a lot of therapy, just trying to get your body right to continue to play at a high level with only having one game per week.
Now, you said 3 weightlifting sessions every week. That's throughout the whole season, right?
Yeah, it stays pretty standard. So you want to go in there, I usually have an upper body day, lower body day, and then the other day might be a total body, but really focusing on injury prevention. So a lot of core, shoulders, knees, ankles, any joints that you can strengthen up to make sure that you prevent injury is always a good thing.
Now, is playing overseas something you recommend for some more players coming out of the States rather than trying to get into the NBA? I know in the WNBA, I know that in a lot of these professional leagues here, it's very difficult to kind of get some of those spots. They usually, I'm a football player, so the way they broke it down to us is like, yes, there's 7 draft days. Yes, you have some time through, training camp and stuff like that to get free agent deals. But there's so many limited spots on a basketball team and in the NBA and some of these other big professional leagues. Is playing overseas probably a better recommendation than trying to push that, push yourself to get to the NBA?
So I think it really depends on what your goals are and what kind of what's really realistic, because I don't want to damper anybody's dream, but if you're a player coming off the bench, I only averaged like 7 points my senior year of high school, so I didn't expect to go to the WNBA. So going overseas, it really gave me an opportunity to continue playing, make some money, and travel the world. So if you are somebody that's a top 3 prospect in the country, yeah, go to the NBA. You're going to make millions of dollars compared to playing overseas, and the accommodations at that level are a lot better than what you'll receive overseas. But it just depends on where you're at. If that's your only opportunity to play, maybe going there and playing overseas for one season and then going to the NBA versus going to a university might be a better option if you're in need of money right away and to get that pro experience. If you know that's your goal, if you're not really interested in graduating, you want to just get to that next level of playing professionally, like LeVar Ball did.
Right.
LaMelo. Which time? Not the younger player.
Now,
LaMelo, yeah,
the one
LaMelo.
thing I just got to talk before we get you out of here. You played in England, right?
Yes.
What was the food like? I've heard that the food's really bad over there.
Well, believe it or not, I am a dual citizen. I was actually born there in England. So my mother's British, my dad's military. That's how they met.
Okay.
He's American. And, the food, I would say their national dish is actually an Indian dish. So I guess that's kind of cheating. It's like Indian food is Indian food. But the actual food in England, I would say they do lack the seasoning that we are accustomed to here in America.
Okay. But I heard the fish and chips is to die for, though.
There you go. That fish and chips with the salt and vinegar on the chips is the way to do it.
They're bearing the trash can, baby. I'm trying to tell you. Well, Ms. Chantelle, Rashad, we want to thank y'all for joining us. Savannah played the game.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay.
11 points, 5 steals, 4 assists, 1 turnover. I think that came late. Doesn't really matter. 6 rebounds. And she shot 3 for 7 from. She shot 4 for 8 from the field. Actually, 0 for 1 from 3. 3 for 6 from the free throw line. I think this is a solid performance. She was the leading scorer. She brought all of the defensive effort besides Olivia Plank, who also had 4 steals. So we give her an honorable mention as well. But Savannah Simpson is our player of the game, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a Big Things Kentucky podcast, live from Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School with Chantelle Pressley, Coach Truck, and young Northside Rashad Bird. We are signing out.
Peace. Well, hold on, Miss Chantelle. You got anything you want to add before we get out of here?
No, just the MLK Day just passed, so I just want to continue to encourage you to find inclusion, diversity, and just to be a light in your community and continue to move the dream forward.
All right. Thank y'all and enjoy.